Hi, my name is Xinhang, and I'm here with Sahab and Jeffrey. We're here today with a new proposal to help prevent the incredibly costly issue of drunk driving. Our new proposal is to require breathalyzer ignition interlocks in the vehicle of a convicted driving while impaired first offender. We propose that interlocks be installed for first offenders, which means individuals who have already been convicted of a DUI or impaired driving. Sobriety checkpoints have been found to be controversial and cumbersome, as some believe that they are unconstitutional and they also require more officers. Decreasing BAC would require drastic policy change that would be extremely difficult to implement in a short time period, given the varying policies by state. The mandatory interlocks would require offenders to blow a BAC of 0 in order to operate the vehicle. Due to the fallacies of the other policies, we choose to implement interlocks. Implementing an electronic monitoring system does come with its faults. It is expensive to install the devices, and if the government does not regulate, they must put the trust in citizens to install the devices. The policy also does not address those who are first-time offenders. Another quirk of the system is that individuals can have friends provide clean samples. You will often see this in TV and movies, where a sober individual will breathe into the interlock system in order for a non-sober individual to drive. There are many sources that support the implementation of interlocks. In 2012, more than 10,000 people died in alcohol-impaired driving crashes. It is important to note that alcohol-impaired is driving with any form of alcohol in the system. Interlock systems have seen positive results in both Arizona and Louisiana, who that have implemented the first offense system. Over a span of 4 years starting in 2007, both states decreased drunk driving deaths by 37%. Other sources show how interlocks reduce public burdens. An U.S. news article showed how rearrests for individuals who installed interlocks was reduced by 67%. With this new policy law enforcement, normal citizens can travel on roadways knowing that someone who has driven impaired before is not out on the roadway driving impaired again. Additionally, this new policy could deter drivers in the future from committing the crime themselves. For example, the breathalyzer can be seen as a major hassle and an embarrassment for offenders. This convinces non-offenders to never commit the crime in the first place. Car companies are also on board with in-car BAC monitoring methods. Companies are working with the government to further the technology, such as dashboard monitoring and the use of cameras, to detect BAC in drivers. The policy will help push for these new technologies in cars. As you watched this short clip, I'm sure you were thinking how close of a call that was. Now imagine two things. First, imagine the driver of either vehicle was under the influence of alcohol. It is undeniable that the alcohol is a depressant that affects your central nervous system, and in turn, your ability to make quick decisions and actions. Now, in addition to the driver being impaired, imagine the fact that the driver has been convicted of driving while impaired in the past. The fact that a person has chosen to exhibit habitual behavior that is harmful to him or herself and the people around allows us to assume the driver is at the very least less safety conscious than the average person. Combining lowered central nervous system reaction and accuracy with a baseline person who neglects safety can be extremely dangerous. With breathalyzer ignition interlocks, we can eliminate both for first offenders.